Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to run through joint parameters. They're not as complex as you might think once you get to know them, and that's said from experience. I know when I started I was completely confused by them, didn't understand them, hadn't got a clue. But really by trial and error and quite honestly sheer determination I found out how they worked, and once I'd done that, looking back, it wasn't that difficult. So hopefully I can pass on that to you so that you can bypass my grief and see really how straightforward they are once you've been shown. What I've got in the screen is just a very simple model I prepared to illustrate. If you can consider it as an arm, the blue is the chest, the purple collar, green shoulder, yellow forearm, and the blue the hand. And if I select the forearm and apply a bend, you can see it's going to move much the same as an arm, and it will serve for our purpose. I've got open the joint parameter window. You can see it on the left there, and I did that by going to the window menu and selecting joint editor. I can run through what's in that joint parameter window. At the top we have a drop down menu which will list out all the available joints. Below that we have the zero figure button. If I apply a bit more of a bend, we know that if we select the zero figure, that will zero the figure. It actually zeros the bends, it doesn't zero the translations or morphs, so that's to be aware of. Below there, and with other joints, you'll see other fields that we can type values directly in. Orientation will align the axis in the way that you want. The joint order, the joint rotation order at the bottom, I'm not going to cover in this tutorial. It's covered in the tutorial regarding the setup room. So we'll go through. We'll start by looking at a simple bend, and that's the way a forearm would tend to move. If I change the scene so that we're looking at the top of it, we can get a better view and understanding of how this goes. I'll apply a bend. Firstly, let's look at the center. Where is this joint parameter operating from? If we bring the mouse over the center, you can see it change to a bullseye, and I can move that by clicking and dragging and move that center. And you can see it has quite dramatic results. And the point is, you don't have to have that center at the intersection of the two body parts that it's affecting. You can move it away from the center. You've got quite a lot of latitude. A lot will depend on what you're trying to do. Now, to explain what we see there, there's a red cutting plane and a green cutting plane. Everything within the red plane, or rather nothing within the red plane, is going to move when the joint moves. If I bend, you'll see that nothing is moving within that red plane. On the other side, everything within that green plane will move when that bends. And the blending is going to happen between the two planes. That's the blend zone. I'll give it a move. Zero the figure. We can simply alter by dragging on the ends of those planes to give variation. If I do this and then drag down here, you'll see how that changes the way the joint is formed. There we've got a smoother angle on the bend. If we look here, we can see that the bottom dials are bulge dials. If we turn those on, I'll show you how those work. Just click and drag on the dial, and you can see you're going to have an effect within that blend zone. And one on the inside. The other two dials are for where the bend is bent in the opposite direction. And you'd use those probably if this was an elbow and you wanted to create the illusion of a crease or fold when the arm is bent, then you'd use these. You see the way that just bends out there? You've got a lot of flexibility with these joints. I'll zero. And that's as much as we can say for the bend. Let's look at the side to side. Change views. And this is going to be identical to the bend join. Everything I said for the bend will apply to the side to side. Go 0. Now the twist. Apply some twist, and you can see that the blending is done along the length of the actuator that you can see there. Notice that everything below will rotate 100% and nothing above rotates at all. If I exaggerate that and then move these endpoints, you'll see nothing above it is going to rotate at all, and in particular if I go on to the next body part, you'll see that absolutely nothing changes on the body part above the parent. A child will only affect the parent, it won't affect the grandparent. Move that back.